Hi guys, it's Jazz here at A&J Watches, and today I just want to do a quick overview on some of the different watch movements and the different pros and cons that they have. Let's go! So firstly, let's get into the quartz movement. Now what I've got in front of me here is the Tag Heuer Formula 1 CAS 1014 to be specific. And this is a quartz watch. So what that means is that it is battery powered, and the battery sends an electrical current through the circuit, to which the quartz is part of, and actually causes the quartz to vibrate at 32,768 times. Now what that does is then it actually regulates that vibration and creates an electrical impulse once a second, which is what helps the second hand to tick and then the hands to go round. The giveaway with the quartz watch is that the second hand ticks rather than a sweeping motion. Now thinking of some pros and cons of this, a big pro is that the quartz watch is one of the most accurate watches. Because it relies on electricity, it just regulates it and perfect 1 second at a time. Whereas the con of it really, if you are into your watches and you really enjoy horology, the working movements, all of that kind of stuff is obsolete in a quartz watch. So yeah, if you're really into it, it's probably not the watch you'd be looking for. So next is the mechanical watch, and the mechanical watch could actually be broken down into quite a few different subcategories. You've got automatic, you've got hand wound, spring drive, high beat 36,000, the list goes on. So the first one I've got here is just the standard automatic watch. Now this takes power by the mainspring, which you actually wind via the crown, and it does also have a rotor on the back as well for when you're wearing it on the wrist, and it rotates that round, which in turn winds the mainspring. So when that mainspring winds, what it does, it stores up all the energy, and then to release it slowly, the spring will start to unwind and it's sent through the gear train, which then powers the hands and the second hand on the dial. So this kind of watch, the automatic, pros of it is that the working parts in there, there's a rich history behind it. It's so interesting, so intricate on some of them. When you start getting added complications in, it's incredible. Cons of it definitely is timekeeping. Unless you've got a chronometer watch, compared to a quartz, which is accurate to like a second, sometimes it can be plus or minus 25 seconds, which to some people may not be a lot, but if you are really into horology, it does make the difference. So going into another subcategory of a mechanical watch would be a hand wound watch, like this Hamilton Carfield here. Now, the hand wound doesn't actually have a rotor inside the movement, which means unlike an automatic, when you wear it, it will not charge the watch. All the power is given by the mainspring when you actually wind the crown, and it stores all the energy up just like an automatic. The only difference being is that rotor wheel. So pros and cons of the hand wound movement. Pros have to be all the fascination behind it. It stays true to history. All those tiny parts in there, it'd be lovely to have a clear case back on this model so you could really see it. Some models do, so that does pique a lot of interest. Cons of it is that you do have to wind it every day. Now, if you just have to, in an emergency, grab and go, get a watch, if you forget to wind this, yeah, you could be lost really. Always good having an automatic for that. Another, well, I say con, it could be a pro, depends on how you like your watch, is that without having the rotor wheel inside, it is a lot thinner and a lot lighter as well. So yeah, as I say, pro and con depending on how you like your watch. So the final subcategory I just wanted to touch on was a spring drive movement. So now I've got a Grand Seiko spring drive here in front of me. So the spring drive is almost like a hybrid. It takes the workings of a mechanical watch and the accuracy of a quartz watch at the same time. Accuracy is plus or minus 1 second a day, which is astounding really. So what this basically does is that it still gets all the power from the mainspring again, but when the power is released, it goes through a different regulator, which then shares that energy out differently, regulated more like a quartz model. But there is no battery present inside there, which is the important part. This is still mainly a mechanical watch. So it gives you an amazing glide on the second hand. Talking about price, as I'm sure you can imagine, with all the work that goes into it, the years of development, they don't come cheap, unfortunately. That would be my only con for this watch, as the pros are endless. It is reliable, it's sturdy, timekeeping is incredible, so much technology, so interesting. I love it. It's a real work of art. So that was a quick overview on the 4 different watch movements that I spoke on today. Obviously there is more, so feel free to go and have a research on that. So between these, a lot of pros and cons. Some of them are dependent on the person, how you like your watch. I think for me, there's a clear winner, which has to be the spring drive, but it does come at a cost, but it's always worth it. If you do like more content like this, please feel free to like and subscribe and keep an eye out.